Hello, everyone. The topic for the day is annual merit review. So, it's basically nothing but the performance review, which is done on an annual scale. So, basically, merit is the topic. Now, I would love to explain it with the help of few charts so that you have a proper understanding as what exactly is annual merit review. It is basically nothing but continuous process of improving performance day in day out, incremental performance by setting individual and definitely the team goals which are aligned to the strategic goals of an organization. Remember, individual goals, when aligned with the team goals, which is further augmented towards the organizational goal, it's a win win situation for everybody. It involves performance planning to achieve goals, reviewing and assessing progress, developing KSA, should I say knowledge, skills, and ability. So, we need to develop knowledge, we need to acquire skills, we need to improve upon our abilities. That is what the review will be defined as. So definition is basically it's a continuous process. Remember, it's a continuous process, but probably reported on an annual basis. So what is it all about? It is all about identifying, it is all about measuring and developing the performance of the team and individual, which leads to the alignment of the organizational goals. So basically, when the goals of an individual and the team and the organization is divergent, it means no productivity. In fact, it is actually failing the cause of the existence of the organization. So we need all the goals, be it of that individual, be it of the team, should be in line with one another, and definitely we see improvement in performance not only for the organization. I'm sure the promotions of the individual's employee will not be a bar, will not be a problem at any cost. So, what are the two components of the definition? Let us like to discuss it. First and foremost would be the continuous process. What is it? It means every day, every week, every month. It's an ongoing process, participative system, which is forward-looking or future-oriented, never-ending process of setting goals and objective, observing the performance in a regular fashion and giving constant feedback as what is to be improved, what is needs to be done, what can be eliminated, what are the weaknesses and how to capitalize on the strength. So what are we trying to do? The major objective remains to motivate the employee, the major objective remains to enhance the performance of the employee. The next process, so this was all about continuous process. Now with the alignment of the goals with the organization, so ensure that the employee activities, the outputs are congruent with the organization goals and the objectives. This needs to be on the same page, everybody on the same page, and it means an alignment, proper alignment and proper establishment of the do's and don'ts to help further organizational gains competitive advantage, help the organization attain competitive advantage vis-a-vis its competitors, vis-a-vis the business environment, the economic environment of the state, create a direct link between the performance of the organization and the performance of the employee. The goals needs to be dictated, notified, and discovered by anyone and everyone altogether. Make the employee contribution explicit for the organization, acknowledge it, and reward certain performances altogether. So definition, it's a mean of getting better result. Annual merit review is just a mean to get better result from organization, team and individual by understanding and managing performance within an agreed framework of a planned goals, planned standards, planned competence requirement, planned everything to be done in ahead of the time. It is a process of establishing shared, should I say, common understanding of what exactly needs to be done. What is the path that everyone is treading? An approach to manage and develop people in a way which increase the probability that it will achieve in the short and definitely in the long term. So we need to understand where are you, what do you do, and why do you do. The most important thing to be asking. These are two questions that needs to be understand. Am I really committed to better service delivery at work? Am I proactive? Do I contribute towards the overall wealth, health, and provisions of the organization. This is one particular question that needs to be understood. Remember, this particular question can be answered by every Tom, Dick, and Harry, all the employees, irrespective of the what position they are occupying. What is my contribution towards the achievement of strategic objective is the next pertinent question that you need to ask yourself. You need to convince yourself your contribution actually makes a difference to the organization. Let us promote a simple proposition. When people know, remember this is very important. When people know, and most important would be when they understand what is expected of them. Believe me, they will take part in forming those expectations that they can and definitely will perform to meet them, to achieve all the goals given to them. So transparency, communication remains pertinent, remains viable from either way, be it the horizontal way of the organization or the vertical parameters of the organization. Anybody and everybody should be able to communicate and transcribe what is expected out of them. It seeks to change the attitude, the values, and the approaches of management. The employees, according to the new strategies, process, plans to improve what? Only productivity. What? Only performances. Remember, one is akin to another. If productivity is there, if productivity is improved, that means performance has improved. Or should I say the other way around? If performance has improved, definitely it means it will lead to a productivity. So, basic understanding. Let us understand what is the basic understanding. We have to have a vision, we have to have a mission, we have to have a strategic goal and departmental goal. Remember, this is organizational and annual merit review. The organization has to enhance its mission, vision, objective, and the departmental, should I say, functional or strategic business objectives units are concerned. That is what we go around it. But what happens with the individual have their own job description which needs to be standardized, job evaluation and grading, functional analysis and job design. We are talking around it. If we can do it, nothing like it. So with this needs to be understood time and again. There has to be a pertinent parameters or parallel thing between organization and individual requirement. We need to understand the performance agreement that each position, each individual particular to a position has to perform. The individual development, the career plan, the succession planning, if it can be transcribed, if it can be written down, if it can be stated, it becomes a great motivation for the employees. The performance reviews will definitely measure them as to how much of the actuals of this set standard have you achieved. The performance appraisal will give reward appropriately and will be recognized as on when fashion. So we have the individual annual merit review which can be done on a merit fashion. Remember, human resource system actually work with the financial system in together in tandem with organization and individual. So overall principle of merit review, what are they? First and foremost, have to have a clear, distinct, measurable success criteria as to what is required. Be designed to implement with employee involvement. Need to be clear every time. Be simple to understand and operate. Must be fundamental in achieving all management goal. You need to understand whatever goal the organization has set for himself. Allow employees to have a clear understanding of their performance and organizational goals. Focus on the role clarity and performance improvement. Be close linked to the well resourced training and development infrastructure in case if you want to, or if you are lacking in some sense for the knowledge, skills, or abilities wise, please get yourself accredited, please get yourself updated, expose yourself to training and development, the best practices that has been practiced elsewhere, and you are good to go. Directly link reward and build inequity and transparency for the safeguards altogether. Mind you, be regularly reviewed against success criteria. Views of a practitioner now. Principles of merit review. What do they do? It's a natural process to manage. It means you're giving continuous feedback. It means a continuum motivation for the employees. A management tool which helps managers to manage. It is about how we manage people. Annual merit review, it tells you clearly, distinctly, and everybody knows on which standard they are performing and how they are doing good or bad for themselves, driven by the values that the corporate espoused, the corporate purposes to obtain solution that works, that is workable, that is meetable, or only interested in things you can do something about, probably get visibility. Focus on changing behavior than on paperwork. Don't be bureaucratic. Make things happen, because that is what it counts. That is what matters. So you have to understand, you have to operate, you have to function, but don't never be stringent upon it. Be flexible, be open to the ideas, focus on development and not on pay. Remember, once you are developing yourself, pay is going to follow you. Start performing, and believe me, performance will pay automatically. Success depends on what organization is and needs to be on the performance that we go around it. So, talking about ethical principles, what are the ethical principles? First and foremost thing, have respect for each other. Definitely give dignity. Dignity needs to be there in all your transaction. Treat people as an ends in themselves, not merely a means to an end that needs to be understood. Mutual respects and parties involves respect for each other. That is what is all about it. It's not about the managers, supervisors, and employees, or laborers or workers. Everybody should respect them, because believe me, everybody is working to the fullest, to the best of their ability when the designated position, and only then the organization is flourishing. Procedural fairness, procedure operated fairly in accordance with the principles. Transparency, people affected given opportunity to scrutinize basis upon which decision is being. So we talk about the annual merit review cycle. This is very true. If you understand this particular slide altogether, it will do everything and you will come to know of everything altogether. So this isn't circular in nature. Remember, this goes this way. Absolutely this way. Absolutely this way. First thing and foremost thing is to plan, then probably act, then probably observe or monitor and give a review. So, what do you plan? Plan for your profile, plan for the key profile, the position, the man who is manning it. Plan for the key performance indicators, the learning goals, the plans, performance goals. You got to go it and assign it to every position in an organization, and let the people know who is manning that position, what are their performance development plan is all about it. And once you have already stated it out, written it down, documented this all together, we come to act, wherein we actually observe people who are working around it, how they are performing vis-a-vis the standard set. Implement performance improvement plan, implement performance development program altogether, and so on and so forth. Monitor them. Ongoing performance management is monitor, giving a continuous feedback as on when on required. Do not give up, do not wait the whole year to give a feedback, because the feedback might come as a shock. People would have improved themselves had a timely feedback been given out there. So need to understand the performance, need to monitor it, give continuous feedback, coach them, deal when they are working under stress, let it out. Always have the stress releasing factors play into the corporate values, joint values of reviews, the performance that we go around it. This is where you sit together, you decide what has happened, what was stated, what was expected. Performance assessment needs to be done around it. Tell the strength, discuss the weaknesses, and agree to build upon work areas. Agree on specific paths, agree and have a way forward. So, summary of annual merit reviews over an actor. If you look into it, it's the start of the year, and since this is only annual issues, we continuously have a dialogue. What do we have a dialogue? We will show the dialogue one by one in this particular slide. Then that's the performance management. Ongoing annual method will go around it. Again, there will be a slide that will be clinking down. Let me go around it. Then the last one would be the performance management. Here is what we are talking about. Now, talking about performance agreement, what are they? We need to tell about the roles that needs to be defined and updated as and when required, the key performance areas, the competence required by a person to occupy a position, define goals, standards, And performance, identify what are the viable and most pertinent performance indicator. So that is which is requires an individual development plan. This is IDP, needs to be discussed for performance agreement between the supervisor and the workers at the very first instance. This is done at the start of the year. Remember, just marry those things position as has been managed or mentioned in the chart, and you will able to understand what is annual merit review. Coming into the ongoing annual merit review is when we give continuous feedback. We get with feedback, be it on a formal basis or an informal basis, as on when on required. Training and development is imparted. We need to update what is expected. If there are any changes, if things are going wrong, if there is any anomalies, we need to tell those during the progress, give them evidences of achievement, and that is what is ongoing plan. Remember, this is throughout the whole year. It encompasses the whole year altogether, and at the fag end of the year is your performance review, which tells you about performance achievements against the set standards. So what are your actual performance vis-a-vis the standard agreed upon? Identify your strength, your weaknesses on the basis of this evidence. Please document all your communication, all your performances, assess overall performances, give positive feedback, give relevant feedback, be precise, don't mince words, tell them. Use conclusion of performance review as a basis of next year's performance. Please remember, chart it out for the next course. It's a wonderful annual merit review activities that goes around. So this is very, very pertinent and very altogether. Now, what is performance agreement? Outcome of decision made jointly by the managers and the individual during the planning part of the performance management sequences. Definitely needs to be done. Definitely is a must thing altogether. Provides foundation for managing performances and guides improvement and development activities. Nothing this to be discussed out here. It is a continuous positioning of the performances that needs to be branded upon. We need to go about the annual merit review as a reference point for planning and reviewing the performance. You need to tell them what is going right, which is to be stressed upon. If you are achieving the objectives, can you overachieve it? If you are not achieving it, the objectives, what rest efforts can be put so that you are within the accepted means of achieving the objective. Contains agreements on expectation in the form of result, competencies and action required. This is viably written in black and white in a lucid language, so both the parties can understand what is mentioned in the performance agreement. No tough words, no gift of gaps has to be given in the thing, no hocus pocus. Plain simple lucid languages needs to be there in performance agreement. We'll talk about the role profile. Remember, role profile is always agreed upon as to what the role is all about it, what is expected of the role, how do you perform the role, how do you overachieve or probably get the key areas right. So element of role which clear output and standard exists is key result areas or key performing areas. The knowledge, the skills requirement, what the role holder should be able to do. This is pertinent. This needs to be done. It is a permanent fact that unless and until you have the requisite knowledge, if you have the requisite skills, you will be not be able to perform the role viably and satisfactorily. So behavioral competencies is requirement is also to be maintained. The psychological, the temperament of the person is required to be successful in a particular job. What is all about role profile? Very pertinent. It actually decide who is meant for kind of job. Now, with this, we come to the annual maintenance merit reviews, aims and objectives. Number one, please remember the number one is to integrate individual objectives and corporate objectives together. Number two is to improve the team morale, improve the individual contributions to the team, to create a performance culture is the third objective, and to provide a framework for strategic management. It gives a distinct quality. It You can plan ahead, you can future proof your organization in terms of strategic management. Give clarity and accountabilities, empower your employees, empower them to take right decision, give them a sense of belongingness, to develop skills and competencies of individual employees. That is what is required. If you cannot develop the skills and competencies, people will fade away, they will become disinterested. So to provide a framework for employment equity, be just towards their employees. As long as they are contributing, be fair to them with their compensation. Provide them a channel for a communication, for vending out their grievances, if any. This plays a long way to make a harmony within your organization. To develop a climate for motivation is what we are looking at it. To retain and attract quality staff, if you have to retain and attract quality staff, believe me, your organization is going to work smooth for decades to come. To provide framework for managing an acceptable performance, last but not the least, is to form the performance based pay only. Incentivized pay, give them incentives that should be transparent and transparent to everyone, should be agreed upon everyone, and people will be motivated. The overall aim, remember, for AMR is to establish a culture in which a groups, be it group or be individuals, everyone owns up a responsibility. Everybody decides to be incrementally better from the previous day and improve on the business processes with their own skills and contribution. Thus, annual merit review will aim to instill a customer service performance oriented transparency, accountability cultures within an organization, align service processes, rule, regulation, and in a new cultures altogether. So let us talk about the benefit. Benefit is all about results rather than not only on behaviors and activities. Believe me, behaviors improves, activities becomes more prudent and more efficient, aligns with the organizational goals, the organizational objectives. Instead of the individual, the employee, the managers, the supervisor are working in tandem, and there is a high performance work team altogether, which has a good culture to go around within the system. And did I say the viabilities of the organization becomes decade long, and in decades you can plan for your futures of the organization. So it is all about measurement, providing meaningful measurement. So what does annual merit review go around it? It creates HPWS, high performing work system or high performance culture. It improvises not only on efficiency but becomes more effective, ensures quality services for greater customer satisfaction. Yes, true, that is what we do. Customer service oriented culture wherein become the customer becomes the focal point, and they are there to help everyone out. AMR aligns, or annual merit review aligns, with the vision, the mission that is there for the organization, including with an individual. Links individual activities, did I say the individual alignments and the organization alignments with respect to the goals are one and the same. The organization will become a learning organization. Why? Because it is improving day in, day out. So it will achieve essentially, effectively, all the objectives that it keeps on it for itself. The all these objectives that we go around it. So can lead to performance lead salaries. What can we do it? We have a highly committed and motivated employees. We have individuals that can improve upon their abilities. They might be low skilled or unskilled when they are joining the organization, but after a few years they are highly skilled employees. Highly skilled means highly motivated, ensures a sustained growth of an individual development, positively influences behavior. Definitely, there's a feeling of brotherhood, there's a feeling of camaraderie within the organization. The individual team performances improves, and it becomes effective and efficient. So we have reciprocative to the customer needs. We are becoming dynamic. The organization is learning organization. Every employee is living to the fullest of potential. Whatever he or she wants to aspire for, probably he or she is going to realize. Basically, it builds on knowledge, skills, and competencies or abilities level. Employees will understand their contribution to the vision, mission of the organization, will commit themselves to their job, will adopt new challenges within an organization. Definitely, it will give people money in their hand. It will give recognition in their people. It will assist empowering people to retain high quality people within themselves. And it means leading to performance related salary, and that is what is all about. So, managing annual merit review is leadership support and commitment to the implementation. Yeah, that has to be fully backed by the top management, fully backed by the managers, the supervisor for the merit review. Because in absence of AMR, believe me, the process will be driven by line managers, and it should be regarded a continuously improvement process of management. The implementation of annual merit review has been seen as a process and not as a one-off event or just an event on an annual basis. It should be treated as a process altogether. It's a totality, it's a company in totality, it wherein no one person will be left aside. Leadership is pivotal, leadership is guided. Leadership is the focal point to steer, guide, and direct the implementation of annual merit review. We need to understand this thing because essentially performance management is the core function of every one of the employees, irrespective of the position, be it of supervisor, managers, executives. And with this, I come to an end for annual merit review. Thank you for watching this wonderful video with me.